using the tractor and loader to do this. But hello and welcome to Sullivan's Farm. As you can see beside me here, we've cut another bit of silage this week. It wasn't really planned that way. The grass just got a bit too strong ahead of the cattle, and there was a couple of dry days forecast, so we made a bust for it. So we'll go in, see the few bales that came off that in a minute, but I'm just walking out now for a look at the fodder rape that was set the other morning. I suppose not an awful lot to see here, apart from the lines that the man made as he was stitching it in. Same going down that way, and they're the bales. So we'll keep an eye on it. We put it in at a rate of, I think it was about 5 kg to the acre. So hopefully there'll be a good strike rate. I threw out a bit of fertilizer there on it earlier, and yeah, we'll just keep an eye on it. And again, without looking too far ahead, it's a sign that autumn is on the way and winter is not too far behind it, but we won't be too maudlin just yet. Silage then, it's about 2 paddocks, close enough to 3 acres. We got 12 bales off it. So again, I don't know if I'll need them, but they're in the yard now. We got the grass, we got the grass cleared off. There's grass coming back already. We'll throw out a bit of fertilizer there next week, and it's another bit of progress, I suppose, or another part of the work done trying to build grass for autumn. I'm trying to think of what the polite way we tell the lads at home to say instead of the F-bomb, but that's what I'd be calling those effing crows now anyway. It's a reminder, I suppose, seeing that hole to check the rest of the bales and check the ones out in the field as well. I have the stuff here. These are the other 12 bales we got then. It's handy. It's kind of like they were made for it. They just fit in beside the first cut ones there, and they'll feed something someplace anyway. Trying to think what else I was at during the week. The kind of days blur into one at the moment, but we did a bit of topping around here in the 2 cubicles fields. The big store cattle were in here after the calves, and then I topped it a few days after that, and I threw out a bit of fertilizer this morning. So again, we're kind of set for grass here in a couple of weeks' time, and it's the first time it was topped in a hell of a long time, a good few years, and it was just gone. There was a few thistles coming, a few clumps of grass, say, that grow, that they don't graze, where the poo and the wee is, we'll call it that, in case there's any under 18s watching. There's a lot of rain forecast in the next few days, so after that and a bit of fertilizer and a bit of topping to increase the organic matter, should be a nice cover of grass here in a few weeks. This is the second cubicle field then. There's the cubicles, there's the first cubicle field, and this is the second cubicles field. Cub 1 and Cub 2 on pasture base, but there's a good few thistles in here now. I'm a bit disappointed in this paddock. I don't know if you can get the full effect of it on the camera here now, but thistles really got a hold down in this corner of the second cubicles field. Like from pretty much 0 2 years ago, they just seemed to take off, so they needed to be topped in the worst of ways. This cubicles 1 and Cub 1 and Cub 2 needed to be reclaimed a couple of years ago. There were thistles and nettles and every other kind of a thing growing in the middle of it for kind of 4 or 5 feet of it. It's a bit of work to reclaim it, but it's kind of back. So it was reseeded, I would say, 2019, and it was clean, no problems with it up till, I suppose, last year, maybe the year before. A few thistles started in it, encroaching and getting further and getting stronger and taking over more of the field. So hopefully the bit of topping will help now. And seeing as we're here, we'll have a look at the calves. They're getting big, and the bit of sunshine during the week has made an awful difference to them. Now, I'm going to disappoint them because they hear me talking. They think they're going to get fed, but we might stay out here with them. Keep away from the trucks. they mightn't be too disappointed then, but thankfully they're after losing that old gingery colour. They're turning into proper black and whites now. She's a little bit small, but as my granduncle would say, she's a picture. And obviously the Angus bull calves are flying as well. There's the red one. Apparently, I think I was saying before, his grandmother or his great grandmother had some touch of Jersey in her, so he's brought through great granny's red colour. Stop you now, look at this. The price of milk is dropping like a stone, and probably about the same rate as the price of beef at the moment. But if I was to go milking, I wouldn't be looking at last year's price for milk or this year's price for milk. My time span would be 20 years, and the average price of milk over the next 20 years. It's a story again for another day. For now, I'm just happy that the calves are doing well. I'm satisfied that the heifers will be all big enough. Another picture. Look at this, missus. She's posing already. But yeah, I'm just happy that they're all going to be big enough to go to the bull next year. And the outwintering will help that as well. 54. We know who likes you, don't we? She used to be letting you lick her hand over in the shed. Go away, I don't want your old dribble on my hand. I like him, but I don't like him that much either. Now we're after walking past the trucks and they're coming behind me, obviously. I brought him down to give him a dose there a few weeks ago. It wasn't a dose, it was an injection, an ivermectin. They were still in the two groups at that stage. When I left them back out then, I left the 5 and the 25 all in together, because I was happy that the 5 who were getting the little bit of time and space and the extra few cubes had kind of caught up. I thought I'd take a chance and just make it a bit easier for myself to have the one group rather than one main group and then one small group. And so far so good. Nobody seems to be dropping back. Nobody seems to be shy at the trough. So we'll drive on at that. Stores are in there in that temporary paddock. Could have cut silage off that. The grass was going a bit too strong, but we left them in there instead to clean it off. I'm not going to bother looking at them. They're just store cattle. I've shown you them a good few times. What we'll do is we'll go down to the field below the wood and we'll have a quick look at the cattle down there, the 10 I picked out, the 5 bullocks and the 5 heifers that I'm feeding on for the next 6 weeks now. They weren't mad about the cubes when I started giving them to them first, and I got into the habit of giving them 1 kilo in the morning and 1 kilo in the evenings, so I've stuck with that habit. But sure, look, they're eating it away mad, and it's putting a nice kind of a shine on them, so we'll see how they go. They're averaging, the heifers and the bullocks, about 486, 87 kgs, around that. So if they keep going with 1 kilo a day for the next 6 weeks, that's an extra 40 kilos, and they'll go then. Whether I'm in Borbia or not depends, I suppose, on whether they go to the mart or not, but they're doing well. That's the main thing anyway. When the man was here setting the fodder rape, as I had planned, I asked him about throwing out the grass seed here as well, in that space that was reclaimed below the shed, but he reckoned it would be too soft, and the tractor, in fairness, there's a huge tractor, would only make big track marks like theirs. I drove in there with my own tractor to gather up stones that were picked against the wall there, and that left that mark. So he was probably right that a bigger tractor would just have made bigger marks, and then the clay was a bit loose as well, so it mightn't have made a good contact, or it might have clogged up the machine, which makes sense, but it just means now I have to throw it out by hand before the rain comes again and try and rake it over and see how it goes. And what I'm going to try to do then over the coming weeks, or maybe in a couple of weeks time if the grass starts to come at all, is throw out, put on the knapsack, more torture, put on the knapsack, fill it with Grazing Pro and just do the docks I don't know if it's clover safe spray, but it's a selective herbicide anyway, so it'll only do the docks and the nettles and the thistles rather than the grass. But as with everything else, we'll have to see how it goes. There's a bit of this I'll carry on going on as well. I'm loading up the trailer here to bring it to, I think, what do they call it, a bring centre. Probably 2 trips, but it'll be done right, and it's only 5 or 6 miles away, so it's not the end of the world. Should be using the tractor and loader to do this, but I was halfway through when I realised that, so we'll throw good time after bad, and we'll keep loading it by hand for now. I put a pallet up on top, and I might stand up on it in a minute as well to squash the plastic down a small bit, and I'd say might fit it all then in the one trip to save a bit of time. Not the end of the world if we have to go twice, but it'd obviously save another half an hour, and they're fairly scarce around here. It was a bit of a struggle, but we managed to get them all in. The pallet is up there again to try and weigh him down now, and in fairness, it does kind of naturally push him down, and we're ready here for next winter again. Although I think what I'll do next winter is get a bag like this and put the plastic bag, the silage plastic into that, and then just lift it with the loader into the trailer. That's what I did with the netting, just to keep it separate from the plastic and then keep it all together. So I'll do something similar with the plastic itself next year, and it'll save me messing around till it's almost dark on a Thursday evening the night before I need to bring it to the bring centre. I made a start on the seed and the raking out here yesterday evening after the silage plastic, and I was over here again early this morning. Well, it wasn't too early, about 7 o'clock. I forgot the camera at that stage, and sure, look, I suppose you're not missing much, not seeing my sleepy head at that time of the morning, but we'll do another bit now. Just put a bit of grass seed I had left into a bucket, and off we go. I think you're supposed to throw it out like you're feeding chickens, something like that. I'm not one for torture or anything like that, and I really wish that man the other day had come over and just set it. But it's a small job, nobody else is going to do it. If I don't give it a half an hour here and there, then it's just not going to get done. I'm out of breath. That raking is worse than throwing out the grass seed, and sure, it is obvious what I should have done with the grass seed now. And I had the spinner on and all yesterday, and I've used the spinner before to broadcast seed. I threw out a bit of clover on a few paddocks there a couple of years ago, mixed in a bit of fertiliser, clover seed into it, and out you go, rather than throwing it out of a bucket like that, like just something from the 1950s. I'm trying to get away from all that. But of course, I should have put the grass seed, bit of fertiliser into the spinner, and I would have been done and dusted in 2 minutes, and I'd probably have the raking done as well now, even though that's the hardest part. I kept going until I broke the rake. My hands are sore, my back is sore, and obviously I know what I should have done now. Instead of raking it by hand, I should have got a chain harrow. But I don't have a chain harrow, and I don't know where to borrow a chain harrow, so I just have to get on with it. You live and learn, and it's another thing I'm 100% sure I'll never again do. That's it then for this video. Thanks a million for watching. We'll talk to you soon. I'm going to go away, get in out of all the rain that's coming, and hopefully you don't get flooded out where you are either. Mind yourselves. Good luck. This is my latest transport. Very eco-friendly around here. Good luck.